Hello and welcome to Cigar Box Guitars, aka the Dutchman in San Marcos. We're coming to another episode of the Camacho Cigar Box. Sorry, I'm saying it all wrong. But let's get going. All right, here we go. Just getting started with the Camacho box again. As I was saying in some of my shorts, I'm working on a lot of different things all at once. I'm trying to finish that road race. That's got to be done by Halloween because I'm going to be using it for the trick or treat at our church. Let kids play the slot cars and get candy, which will be fun. And I'm trying to build that other cigar box for a tribute to my father-in-law, and so I can have it on display at his little table on the funeral. And so trying to get that done as well. And yeah, so we've been very busy. Along with the funeral stuff, I'm trying to put movies together. You know, my brother's like, no, that picture's no good. This isn't right. And so I had to redo things. So that took a lot more of my time. It took a whole nother kind of basically a day of my time where I already had spent a full day on it. So anyways, enough being said, let's get going on this Camacho box. Let me reposition you so you can see the workbench better, and we'll get going. All right, so here we are. Hopefully you can see everything. I tried to get you the full bench. As you can see, I got the Camacho box right here. We got a lot done on it. Well, this is the lid. I was looking at a website that sells pickups, and they do sell a flat pickup that I could put underneath, just attach it to the lid so I wouldn't have to do any cutting of the lid. And I think I'm going to buy one of those. It sounds like a plan. I'll have to search for that. I did cut out blocks. As you can see, they're sitting in here. I did get this cut out higher here and lower on this end, and I got the blocks cut. I marked them tail so I would know where they were at, and so got the headstock actually glued on. I did the old toothpick trick, filled in some of the cracks with putty. So we're gonna break the sander out and get this sanded so it's not, if you look at it, it's not quite level. So we got that to work on. Cut this out right here for the lid. As you can see, it's slanted because this goes farther down on this side. So it's looking really good. So as you can see, when we put this in, it goes in there like that. Oops, I guess I gotta hold it. And the lid then goes on. Actually, I gotta move it a little forward. The lid will go on. Maybe a little bit more fitting. Maybe needs a little more fitting. It's not sitting quite flush, so I'll have to sand this a little more. And that's what I'm gonna do when I get my sander out, because it's a finer. I did most of this rough in with a file, and so we'll go with a lighter sander and sand some of these down, sand this down. It's not quite flush, and we want those flush. So we'll get the blocks look pretty good. We'll get these glued in, and let me get my vacuum and suck the sawdust out of those. Sorry for the vacuum noise. Get all that sawdust off of my glue stick. There we go. So we'll get our glue out. This is the neck one, and that's perfectly flush. You can see that one's flush too. So let's get these glued in. I gotta get some kind of better gluing system. I have trouble with this glue top getting stuck every time. Every time it gets stuck. Alright, so we'll get this one glued in. And I'll smear it kind of. And I got a clamp right here. I'll be able to clamp that one right down. These will make it nice when once I get the neck glued to them, then I can run a screw in the back to hold everything. So get these glued in. Let me grab another clamp. This one's a little wider, hopefully. There we go. So we got that glued up. Let's work on kind of the gravy. Let's work on the sanding. Let's work on the sanding of the neck. Let me put this guy over here so we don't bang that at all. And give me a chance to get my sander out. I'll be right back. Let me cut you off a minute. All right, here we go. Got the sander out. We're just changing. Remember when we cut it, we had this blade in here. Remember we used that blade for cutting the box, which worked out pretty well. I did find, I think I have to take, yeah, I gotta take this all the way off. I did find I had to add a little more speed to get it to cut, but then, and I just heard a guy say that these Camacho boxes are heavily lacquered, but then they're cardboard. And it was true, it didn't like to cut through that, which was kind of weird. So we'll get this guy on. So that was kind of different. And I don't remember this being this hard to put on, but Kind of got to put that screw through there first. There we go. Harder than I thought, but we'll get around. The most worn out, I got 80 grit. I think that's what I used the last time. So we'll give it a try with 80 here. And we'll go from there. We get all this sand up, kind of round these corners off, and sand this out a little bit. Kind of mellow this all out and round it off. So, and then we got to remember to sand these down so it fits in the box better. So let's get going on that. Let me get this plugged in. We'll start out on 3. The little sander isn't sticking as good. Kind of moving around. This part now I'm just doing for height, as you can see on the side. That's looking a little better. It's not quite level. Let me vacuum that off. Now I'm just trying to get this down a little bit. I'll get my straight edge out here. Where did that little guy go? So we'll get it. Oh, here it is. You can see I got a little bit of a gap. So we'll get that a little lower. I mean, this, you can see where I put my toothpick. You can see I put my toothpick in here and here. But we got to get this just a little lower. It's kind of rounded up. So we'll put this guy back on there. Oops. That was too fast. That didn't like that. To fix that. Learned a lesson on that one. You can't run it. Can't run it too fast. Wanted to crank it up to see if it would sand a little better, and I went all the way up, and that was a little too far. But I want to come loose, so I'll keep it lower. Start on 2. I hope I didn't dish it too much. I just need it right here. I almost got it. A little high right there. I think that was that spot where I had glued. No, I glued that. Yeah, no, I glued this one. That's better. That's better. We're almost there. A little at a time. Just a little bit more. I think that might have it. That's a lot better. That's a lot better. Just right here. Right there. Yep, I think that's got it. There we go. So when I'm gonna have to shape this neck, and I'll do it on the belt sander, I can run another little straight edge on there, you know, from the front side of the sander, which will help. But I think I got it fairly close now. Yeah, that's looking good. That's looking good. So we got that ready. So we'll have to drill the holes out, and then we'll do a final sanding. But and we'll have to cut the frets for this fretboard. And we're moving right along. So there we have it. That's the latest on the Camacho box. I hope you enjoyed that. And we will see you next Saturday, same time, same bat station. Be sure to tell your friends, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week. So, that'll be it. I hope you enjoyed the show. Like I was saying before, I didn't took the camera back up. So we'll see you next week. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next Saturday, and we'll talk to you later.